All right, welcome back to another Wheel Reads Reviews. Yeah, so we're continuing on that Sanderson train and going right into book 2 of the Stormlight Archive, which is The Words of Radiance. So before we get any further, I do want to give a quick spoiler warning. This will not have spoilers for the first half. I am just going to giving my honest review of this book and kind of talking about some of the overall concepts such as pacing, theme, character development or characters in general without naming characters, world building, and then overall plot. After that, we'll take a quick break, play a little music, and then go over to a full spoilers where I break down what I liked, what I disliked, if I disliked anything, what was it, and kind of go deeper into those different ratings, and then end it with that. So let's jump right in. So let's start with pacing. So, pacing. I've reviewed a lot of books. It is probably one of the best paced books I've read so far since I started doing my reviews. In fact, there's only one book I've actually rated higher in pacing, and that was Leviathan Wakes by James S.A. What's his last name? Corey. James S.A. Corey. Yeah, so that was just a really fast-paced book. It read really fast. Anything with Sanderson's going to be hard to get a 10 unless it's one of his novellas because they're girthy books. They're big boys. Really big books. So trying to get a book that large and not have some slow parts and pacing issues is going to be next to impossible. But I gave it 9 out of 10. So still fantastic pacing. I mean, as for write that long of a book and still keep me at the edge of my seat, proverbial seat, because I'm actually driving because I listen to these. So I don't scoot that far forward, but amazing pacing. So moving on to theme. Lots of themes. I won't go too much into them. For spoiler reasons, I will in the second half of this video. But some of the normal themes that I guess you would find in a lot of books, such as hero's journey, and also a lot of things around honor. Just a lot of those themes. Great. In fact, one of the best themed books I've read so far this year, and like it because it's 9 out of 10. 9. Most themes on this book were great. There were none I can think of that were horrible. Some that probably just were good, not great. But most of them great. Hence 9 out of 10. Characters, 9, almost 10 on the characters. There's a few little things I didn't like about one particular character, but for the most part, the character development was really great. Great arcs. You can see the characters really develop. When I did Way of the Kings, I actually gave characters a 7 because there's one character I didn't like. In this book, I really like this character. The character comes alive. And if you've seen that first video, you know what character I'm talking about. And I'm still not going to give names in this first part, even though you should have already read Way of Kings by the time you're viewing this video. Before but in case you're just going through and watching all my stuff and want to see the non-spoilery parts, that's fine. I'm not going to give names. Then world building, just like Way of Kings, 10 out of 10. Brandon Sanderson does a fantastic job building this world. Every little detail, just you feel like you're just there and part of it, and just love the world building Brandon Sanderson does. In fact, I think he does a better job world building than any other author I've ever read. Just the page comes off and you understand the look and the feel and even the grittiness of some of the parts and the just beautiful beautiful I can just picture on my mind's eye pretty much everything inside these books. Just great. Plot, 9 out of 10 as well. We're not going to get 10 marks all the way across the board. Like I said, that's for the perfect book out there. But we got all 9s and 10s here. So 9 out of 10 with plot. Fantastic plot. There wasn't really a bad plot line here. There was, like I said, some good ones, but there was some great ones too. So 9 out of 10. So overall, this is probably, Yeah, this is actually the highest rated book. It was Heroes of Ages, which is the Mistborn other Sanderson book, that was my highest rating, and that got an 87, which in my scale is an A. This got a 91. So A plus. I mean, that's the highest rated book I've read yet this year. So if you're looking for a book to get into or a series to get into, I cannot recommend Stormlight enough. The Way of Kings got a solid B. This one gets an A. One of the best books I've read this year. It's not the best book I have read this year. But it's one of the best books I've ever read. So definitely go check out Sanderson. So yeah, check it out. It's good. Awesome. So. All right, starting with spoilers. Yeah, so let's first start with pacing. So why is it 9 out of 10, not 10 out of 10? Like I said in previous videos, it's hard to get that 10 mark at my book. It has to be perfect. And there were some slow parts. A lot of stuff around Minarin really just kind of annoyed me and kind of was slow for me. And there was some stuff around Shallan as well. But very, very minor parts. Still, that's why it's 9 out of 10. It was just, it was very good. Moving on to theme. Like we talked about in The Way of Kings, honor is a big thing. When Dalinar Cullen in the first book gave up his shard for the Bridgemen, of course, a huge thing. And then you see that just keep on developing throughout. And you can see Dalinar struggling with his past life and what he's become. And I do like that a lot. So, that was good. Good theme. 9 out of 10. Characters. Wow. So that's what I'm going to spend bulk of my spoiler talk talking about, because if you have seen my Way of the Kings review and go back and watch that, I didn't like Shallan in The Way of the Kings at all. She was annoying to me. It just wasn't like, I felt like I feel like she was annoyed with herself. Like she was just annoying the entire book. This book, completely different. Love Shallan by the end of this book. Just love the way that she just really came to her own being throughout this book, enjoyed reading her character a lot more this time around. Of course, Kaladin is still amazing in all ways and forms. Really, really loved him as he sits there and tries to learn more and more about what it means to be able to use Stormlight and how that's going to affect everything. And it's just I love the training scenes. I just love all of that. And then him trying to keep his secret kind of annoyed me a little bit. I understand. I get it. He doesn't trust anybody, and that's his past coming back to him. But it was kind of at some points like, dude, just trust Dalinar at this point. I mean, I get Adolin, I get that, but Dalinar's like obviously on your side. Like, get over it, man. Just trust him. But overall, just really, really enjoyed the character developments here. Renarin, like I said in the very beginning with pacing, he was kind of that one character, Dalinar's other son, that I just didn't like his storyline that much this book. Towards the end, I was kind of felt like, oh, okay. And you've read the book, so, when they find out he's a Radiant as well, it's kind of like, all right, yeah, okay. I didn't like that plot line that much, but that's what it is. And that's why it's 9 out of 10. World building, don't need to talk much about that. It's amazing. All of it is. It's just, awesome. And then talking about plot. So overall, the plot was really, really fun. I mean, the battle scene in the arena, between Adolin and the, I guess it was four shard bearers, which is like super scary and definitely horrible odds. And then Kaladin coming in, for the rescue, was just so intense. And I know that's just one minor part of the plot, but I have to talk about it just because it was just so awesome. Zeth and his whole thing, I really enjoyed that more than the first book, where it's just kind of mentioned as blips. He definitely becomes more of the bad guy throughout this book, obviously, as he's given a task in the very beginning to go kill Dalinar. Still trying to figure out really why and all that stuff, but I guess eventually I'll figure it out. Voidbringer stuff, a little weird. Haven't really figured all that out yet. I'm sure I'll figure that out in Oathbringer and Rhythm of War as I go through those books. But that stuff was okay. Yasna dying, only to come back. I didn't think she was dead at all, even for a single moment. That did not, as far as the plot line goes. I nobody, not dead. It's that old saying. So, that whole thing was meh. It was okay. And then the ending. So I like parts of the ending. I really dislike one part of the ending. I get it. I understand why you did it, Sanderson. I get it. I understand. And it makes sense for the plot, but I just didn't like the way you did it. So let's talk about the ending. So, Zeth has the epic battle. They go fight, and the storm gets released, the Everstorm, and clashes, and all this madness, mayhem, and they have to figure out how to use the portal thing to go to the mystical city in the mountain, and all this craziness is going on while battles ensuing, and all sorts of red lightning and craziness. And then after it all ends, and Kaladin kills Zeth, not really, and they all teleport away. Dalinar's just like, hey, Stormfather, yeah, guess what? I know the words. You're my Spren now. And I just didn't like it, dude. I tried to. I get why you did it. I just didn't. It felt clunky. It didn't feel right, and that's why I give it a 9 out of 10 for plot. Is just because that last little bit where I think it could have just been done a little bit more out, where it was kind of like left field, like. And it just felt so forced, and that's kind of Dalinar's personality, but still at the same time, it's just, it didn't sit well. So, also I like the getting to know what the the shard blades were a little bit more. That was really cool as far as the screaming and the dead Sprens, and that there actually are Sprens, and all that stuff was really interesting. Of course, I already knew that somewhat because it kind of got spoiled for me. Because I actually do on my Twitter a poll every March Madness, which I guess is coming up soon. Where I do like the best weapons of fantasy fiction are just in fiction in general, because I do things that aren't just comic books and things like that. And I do all these weapons, and shard blades are always in there. And I didn't know really what shard blades were, but of course, while posting and finding images of shard blades, I came across some spoiler stuff. So I was like, oh, so yeah. And I think someone actually told me like, yeah, they're gonna like think back to Mistborn, and what is it? What's Aditanium? The metal that was actually part of the god. Someone compared it to that, like that they're similar. That the Spren are part of the gods or whatever. I'm still trying to figure out all the Spren stuff, but it's coming more and more clear now. Really enjoying the Spren. Still don't trust Pattern. Even though I'm starting to warm up to Pattern a little bit. When Pattern first got introduced, I guess that was in the beginning of this book, was like, nope, don't like him or her or they. It just, something was off. And as we've kept on going on, still don't know whether Pattern's actually good or bad. I'm going to give Pattern the benefit of the doubt because I saw another spoiler about that, and I need to quit going on Twitter, and I need to go on Twitter for my content, but people post stuff without spoiler tags, and I see stuff sometimes. So I don't know for sure about Pattern, but my gut feeling initially was bad news. I'm by the end of the book, still suspicious. Anyway, so that's overall my thoughts about the book. It sounds like I'm bashing it, talking about the Dalinar line and some of the other stuff, and Renarin, but no, I love this book. Love it. Loved the character development, loved the world building, loved where the book went. Can't wait to get into Oathbringer and give you guys the review for that. So let me know what you think about the book. Let me know if it's your favorite Stormlight Archive book. Don't let me know what happens in the other ones. If it is another one that's your favorite, that's fine. If there's some favorite parts of this book, feel free to leave them in the comments. Please put spoiler tags in there for people that are watching this video that don't want spoilers. Just kind of put spoiler and then maybe hit enter a few times, and then write their comment in saying, so you have to scroll a little bit. You guys know how to do that? Yeah. Do that. So like and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, and until next time, guys, peace.